Hello everyone, welcome back to the 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today we are making this ribbons for a reason square. Now I designed this square because I thought it's coming up to the end of the year and it would be really good for us all to be able to just show a bit of support for whichever cause or awareness we support. So there are so many colour variations of these ribbons, and so I put a link below in the description of a website that will show you lots of different colour ribbons and what they represent. You probably all already know which colour you want to do, but if you don't, then have a look there, and there's a big long list, and there's lots of other places. If you look on Google for awareness ribbon colours, it will tell you a lot of those. So we're going to use the ribbon colour for a highlight round as well, just to kind of tie it together, a bit like when I did this purple one. It looks quite black on screen, but it is purple. Then I did the highlight round in purple. So we're going to make up this nice sort of mesh square, and then we're going to make the ribbon and then just attach the ribbon in the centre. So grab your hook, yarn, scissors, needle and a cup of tea or coffee, and let's get started. Okay, to start a square you're going to either use the magic ring or chain 4 and slip stitch to form a ring, and then you're going to chain 3 as your first double crochet, and then make 11 more double crochets into the ring for a total of 12, and that is as simple as this first round is. So chain 3 and 11 double crochets, and when you've finished, do a slip stitch into the top of your chain 3, and there is your first round of 12 double crochets. So now what we're going to do for round 2 is we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to work a double crochet into the next stitch and into the next stitch, and then chain 2 for your corner, and then work around doing 3 double crochets, one into each of the next 3 stitches, and then chain 2 for your corner. Okay, so do the next 6 stitches, 3 stitches, chain 2, 3 stitches, chain 2, and then join with a slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. So this is kind of square now, but you might find that it's sort of curling up, or if you try and straighten it that it domes. That's absolutely fine, don't panic about that, because it will all straighten out as we continue. So continuing on to round 3, what we're going to do is slip stitch across into this in between these first 2 double crochets, and we're now going to work in between our stitches. So rather than working on top of each stitch and going into the top of each stitch, we're going to work between, and it just gives this really nice sort of slightly more open effect than it would if you were doing the solid granny square. So it is pretty much like the solid granny square, except that the stitches don't line up, they go in between. Okay, a bit of a sort of mesh effect really. So we're in between those 2 stitches, so we're going to chain 3 as our first stitch, and then do another one between the next 2 stitches, double crochet. So there's 2 double crochet there, and then in our corner space we're going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So quite a standard corner pattern, that 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, and then you're going to work a double crochet between the next 2 double crochets and a double crochet between the next 2, and then you're back to your corner. So do that'll be 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet, and then you'll do 1 in between each of these 2 sets of stitches and continue around until you get back to the beginning, and then slip stitch into the top of your chain 3. And there we go, at the end of round 3. Cute little square starting to form. Okay, so for row 4 and row 4, 5 and 6, we're going to do exactly the same. You're going to slip stitch across to the next, in between the next 2 stitches. Oops. And then you will continue as before, chain 3 for your first stitch, and then go in between the next 2 stitches for a double crochet, and then in between the next 2 stitches for a double crochet, and then in your corner 2 double crochet, chain 2 and 2 double crochet. So repeat this all the way around, doing your corner of 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and then 1 in double crochet in between each of these stitches. Okay, all the way around and slip stitch back into your chain 3. So finish this round and then do 2 more rounds in exactly the same way, and then I will see you back for round 7. So here's our square so far, and a little tip for if your centre is doming a bit, just pull your centre a bit tighter, pull it as tight as you can, and that will flatten it quite a bit more. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, if you want to, of course, is we're going to do this edging in the same colour as you're doing your ribbon. So this one here, I did the purple ribbon, so it doesn't look very purple on camera, it looks quite dark, so I did a purple highlight round. So I'm doing grey ribbon today, so I'm going to do a grey round now. So just fasten off the colour you've been working on, and then join your new colour in any corner space. If you want to continue and do this whole square in one colour, then just stay where you are with your colour, and we'll continue from there. I can show you how to continue from where you are. Okay, so I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've got my colour in the corner, and then I'm not going to bother to chain 1 to start with, just going to go straight into doing a single crochet. Okay, you can do a chain 1 to start if you prefer it that way, and then we're going to do a second single crochet, and then chain 2 and 2 more single crochet in the corner. Now, if you are continuing from where you finished, you're continuing in the same colour, then what you need to do is you probably will need to chain 1 to go up a row, and then you'll do slip stitch across into the space between the next 2 stitches, just as we've done on these previous rows, and then chain 1 and then do a single crochet in between those first 2 stitches, and then all the way along between every stitch you're going to do a single crochet, which is what we're going to do now along the side, is a single crochet in between every set of 2 double crochet. So just a single crochet in between every stitch all the way along to the next corner, and when you get to that next corner it will be exactly the same as the previous corner, in that you will do a 2 single crochets, chain 2 and then 2 more single crochets, and then you're just going to repeat this all the way around, and then slip stitch to your first single crochet, whether that's in the corner or whether it's along the side. Okay, and then you'll want to fasten off this colour, because then we're going to do a different stitch on the next row. which just kind of highlights this throat a little bit more and makes it into this, I don't know if you can see it there on camera, there's a bit of a ridge, a little bit of a ridge between the two. Okay, so continue this around and then fasten off. And there we go, there's the end of round 7. This nice little highlight of whatever colour your ribbon is going to be. Just helps to kind of bring it together a bit if you do that. So I fastened off my grey and I've now rejoined my background colour into the corner space, and we're going to do a round of single crochets again, but mostly we're going to do back post single crochets, except for in our corners. So in this corner we're going to do a single crochet, chain 2 and another single crochet in that same corner space. Okay, and then we're going to work along, we're going to do 1 back post single crochet around each stitch. So single crochets aren't the easiest stitch to work around for this, but we can do it. So I'm not going to worry about the tail of my previous yarn for now, so you can see what I'm doing. So for a back post, we want to go in from the back. So go in from the back and to the side of that first stitch, and then over the top of that stitch and in between the 2 stitches, and it pushes that post, it's only a little post for a single crochet, pushes that to the back, and then yarn over, pull through and complete your single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do that for the next stitch. So in between the 2 stitches, so that's actually going in where you just were previously, over the top and through between the next 2, just putting that post at the back, and then complete your single crochet in the normal way. So just as we would do if we've done back post double crochets before, it's just the same as that, only it's a little bit more fiddly when you've got just single crochets which are quite short. So again, between the next stitches, it's these 2 in the corner will be your trickiest ones, but these others are spread out quite nicely. So go in between those 2 stitches, over the top of the stitch you're going to work, oops, hook might pop out, go in between and push that little post to the back and do your stitch as normal. Okay, again between, over, 3, and do your stitch, between, over, back through, and do your stitch. Oops. And it might come loose just like that. So you just try again. Okay, there you go. Continue that all the way along, and then in your next corner space, 1 single crochet, chain 2 and another single crochet. And I'll see you at the end of this round where you will need to slip stitch to your first single crochet. So here we go at the end of round 8. So you can now see how just popping this piece of this one small round of colour just really makes that pop, and especially when you get your ribbon in the centre, it just ties it all together, which is quite lovely. So the next round is a round of single crochet, nice and simple. I'm going to do the corners as before of 1 single crochet, chain 2 and 1 single crochet. Just double checking that's correct. So just slip stitch over into the chain space and then do a pop my teeth back in there, a single crochet and a chain 2 and a single crochet, and then we're going to do these single crochets now into the actual stitch, not between stitches anymore, just nice and simply 1 into each stitch. Now if you need a little bit extra sizing than a single crochet, by all means you could change this round up and do a half double crochet. Just chain 2 for your first stitch, or you could of course do more than 1 round of single crochet. You might choose to do this round in this same colour and then change back to your ribbon colour for the last round. That would look good. So as always, we give you a pattern but it's up to you what you do with it. If you want to change it up, then change it up, go ahead. So just one single crochet in every stitch, and in your corner single crochet, chain 2 and a single crochet, and when you get back to the beginning, do a slip stitch in your first stitch, and that should be the end of the square, if it's up to size. So there we go, I'll see you at the end of this round. So there we go, at the end of that round, and or however many rounds you needed to do, and that is our background square completed. Lovely open meshy sort of square there, lovely. So all that's left to do now is make the ribbon. Now there is a link below in that description, a link to a page where I think it's actually where you can buy ribbons, but it's also it does tell you what a lot of the different colours represent, so you can have a look if you don't already know what colour ribbon you would like to do. So it does tell you what kind of causes and awarenesses they represent. So I'm going to do grey today, representing asthma and diabetes. So my husband has asthma and I have diabetes, so it's kind of representing those two things for me today. So what you want to do for your ribbon is just chain 32, okay, when you have your chain of 32, you just want to work into the back bump and make half double crochet. So skip the first chain from the hook, and then in the next chain, we've done this before, I've shown you, you're going to work into the back bump. So yarn over for your half double crochet, and then find this bump at the back of your chain and work into that and do your half double crochet, and then do a half double crochet into every chain along, and you will finish with 31 half double crochets. Okay, that chain 1 at the beginning doesn't count as anything, so just continue along until you've done all 31, and I'll see you when I have my 31 finished. Okay, there we go. Now when you fasten off, just leave a nice long tail for sewing, and this initial little tail you can just weave in behind. Okay, so I'm just going to weave that one in behind, and then I'll show you what we're doing with the rest. Okay, so what you're going to do with this piece or this strip of half double crochets is make it into a ribbon, and you just want to fold it over the top. Make sure that the right sides are all facing forwards rather than the rough side of the back, and then just loop it across itself like so, and that's your ribbon. And obviously you could put this in whichever way you like, straight, diagonally, wherever you prefer it to go. Okay, so there's no right or wrong way with this. This is your ribbon for your reason, ribbons for reasons. So what you're going to do, just use this tail to maybe go up the back and then stitch it together in the centre, and just to fasten it to your square in whichever way you please. So that is essentially today's square completed. So you could of course make many of these squares with the different colour ribbons that you represent your special causes, or you could put more ribbons on one square if you like. That would be lovely. So of course, just change this up however suits you best. There are so many colours of ribbons that represent so many different things, so the possibilities are fairly endless. There are some ribbon colours that are a dual colour, so it might be like yellow and blue. So what you might want to do for that is do your chain in one colour and then do your stitches in the second colour. Okay, and that would give you your dual colour, or work halfway with one colour and then do the other half with the other colour. Okay, so make it up into whichever way you wish. So I'm going to just attach mine now, and then I'll show you it at the end. And there is my ribbon square completed. So I hope you have found this tutorial useful and helpful. If you have, then please, as always, click that like button and give us a thumbs up. It's much appreciated. I hope you've enjoyed making this square, and until next time, just keep hooking and don't let your tea get cold. See you next time.